Good morning, this is Vicki.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show. Now, I know we've got so much we want to talk about today, and however, I wanted to start with a thank you to the people in my household, because what I'm really noticing is that I'm so grateful that we've got. It's not quite. What is it when everything's working really well? Like
the flow.
The flow, or the oil and the well-oiled machine.
Ooh.
Yes. So we've got Frank. Of course, he does the cooking. We all know that.
Yes.
And but he handles a lot of stuff that because I'm quite busy, I can't. And so, I'll just say, this has happened. Can you handle that? And he handles it, which is just wonderful. Then we've got Elle. Oh, my gosh. Her list of accomplishments and abilities just increase. Not only is she cleaning and, taking the sheets off the line if I haven't had a chance to take them off while I'm on Zoom watching her do this.
Yes.
She's doing the gardening.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Yes. Well, and, that is amazing and wonderful. And she would also be getting lots of wonderful endorphins from that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. No, she's saying, look, everyone else is working.
Yeah.
So I want to be out there.
Well, I just know how I feel when I've been out in the garden, which I did on the weekend.
I thought you might have. I got the gardening vibes from you on the weekend.
Yeah, well, just before, I was getting prepared for the big rain event, which seemed to be a little bit of a non-event, but we did rain, thank goodness, because I planted all around the garden, just hedging my bets really, sunflower seeds.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some.
Oh, actually, we could do that now because Elle's weeded. There's places to plant now.
Yes.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. So where did you get them from? Did you get them from the place that we were talking about?
I was about to, actually, but then my husband came home with some from somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a supermarket. He got some seeds.
Oh, okay.
So
very good.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to mention Chris. Don't want to forget Chris. He is all things tech. So when I go, my phone's not working, this isn't happening, anything to do with technical stuff, he's at the ready.
I thought you were going to talk about the worms.
Well, that is the other thing.
How are the worms?
Well, we haven't looked because we put them in and we were told to leave them for 2 days. We're following the instructions. So today we will have a look at them.
Yeah, I was actually going to say to Jacob, because Chris said to me, when he sent me a text message, he said, we need 1,000 to 2,000 worms. And I'm like, I'm not counting them.
I did wonder that when he said, I'm not sure if there are 1,000. I said, what did Vicki go? 51, 52? But yes, hopefully, and I did say that if they're in the right environment, they'll multiply quickly. Yes. But we weren't allowed to feed them for the first few days either.
Right.
We had to let them just settle in.
Yes.
So we can start feeding them from today. And but it's all very exciting. But gee, I tell you what, Kelly Mrocky's book, perfect name. Oh. The amount of times somebody said Eww Yuk during the whole process.
I know. It's so funny.
So yes, and the worm farm. Yeah.
Well done.
Multiply talented family.
Yes. Well done. And I'm jealous. I've got a good family too.
You do.
Yeah. So I can't be too jealous.
No.
Yeah. We have our moments.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. But at the moment, I'm doing more than my fair share of what I believe I should be doing in the way of cooking. I made vegetarian sausage rolls yesterday.
Yum. You didn't bring any, did you?
I kind of did.
But they were for you, weren't they? That's all right. You keep going.
I could probably spare a couple for you, Jo. I don't know if you've brought me any food yet.
No, I haven't. No, I've been very slack.
Yes. Well, your husband.
Yes.
All right. Let's go on to, what else would we do now but a poem?
What else?
So this was, Pauline sent us this poem. It's a Pam Eyres poem, but it's very, very now.
Very now.
Very now. So Pam Eyres' poem about the coronavirus. I'm normally a social girl. I love to meet my mates, but lately with the virus, here, we can't go out the gates. You see, we are the oldies now. We need to stay inside. If they haven't seen us for a while, they'll think we've upped and died. They'll never know the things we did before we got this old. There wasn't any Facebook, so not everything was told. We may seem sweet old ladies who would never be uncouth, but we grew up in the 60s if you only knew the truth. There was sex and drugs and rock and roll, the pill and miniskirts. We smoked, we drank, we partied, and we were quite outrageous flirts. Then we settled down, got married and turned into someone's mum, somebody's wife, then Nana. Who on earth did we become? We didn't mind the change of pace because our lives were full, but to bury us before we're dead is like red rag to a bull. So here you find me stuck inside for 4 weeks, maybe more. I finally found myself again, then I had to close the door. It didn't really bother me. I'd while away the hour, I'd bake for all the family, but I've got no flaming flour. Now Netflix is just wonderful. I like a gutsy thriller. I'm swooning over Idris, is that right? Or some random sexy killer. At least I've got a stash of booze for when I'm being idle. There's wine and whiskey, even gin, if I'm feeling suicidal. So let's all drink to lockdown, to recovery and health, and hope this awful virus doesn't decimate our wealth. We'll all get through the crisis and be back to join our mates, just hoping I'm not far too wide to fit through the flaming gates.
I love it. Gee, she's good.
Yes. Love a good laugh.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes. Yes, she's been around a while, Pam Eyres, and done many a good poem.
Yes, and I think we're in times when that saying, you know, if you've got to laugh or you'll cry.
Yes.
I think we're there.
Yes. Yes, interesting times. Yeah, and I guess one of the things that that poem alludes to is the lack of control. And we as humans want to be in control. We like control.
We do, yes.
And you know, it's a difficult one because the way people handle lack of control is very different, and that's why we both love the serenity prayer, don't we?
We do.
Which is, God, give me that serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time. That's not the whole poem, but that's yeah. So. And also, yes, that whole thing about feeling like people have got control over us. And Nelson Mandela is a perfect example of someone who was, I mean, on the outside you think he's been put in prison for 20 years, people have got control over him, but they never did because he had himself.
Yes.
He had his thinking, his
inner world.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a very wise person to be able to keep that going
for 20 years.
Yes. Yes. But it's possible. That's the thing, and we've done some personal development work over the time that is pointed towards that. So we kind of know that in theory.
Yes. Well, and I think we practice it sometimes.
I think we do
yes.
in our lives. I mean, we've just never had that. Well, we've never been in prison.
No,
I'll just confess, I've never been in prison. I'll let you know.
Me either. There have been moments when I've thought, gee, it might be nice,
might be nice
just to get away from everybody and everything. But no, I don't think so. From what I've heard about it.
Yeah, no, and even actually, and there's people who do feel cooped up and all of that, but I keep thinking, well, it depends on where you live, I suppose. If you're in a small 1-bedroom flat, it's a little bit different to a 4-bedroom house. But we still have more control over our lives and freedoms than we would have if we were in prison.
And can I tell you, last night I watched a Michael Mosley show on people. They went back into the 1800s, I guess it was. And so they were dressed up in the old-fashioned clothing. in England, in London, in fact, and these were very poor people. And, oh, my gosh, they had to spend the whole week working from, 6 a.m. till whatever, just to pay the rent. And if they didn't pay the rent, they could be thrown out. And it just shows, it's just that relativity of people back then were in a much worse situation than we are now. And that's what one of the ladies said. She said, we aren't very wealthy in normal life, but it is nothing compared to this. I mean, just everybody, including the kids, everybody had to go out to work and sell whatever they could and do whatever they could. And one gentleman didn't have, he'd lost a leg many years ago, and so he put on a false leg of those days. They didn't actually give him the one of those days because it probably would have caused problems. But just even that, and he was the debt collector, so he had to collect the rent. And he said, I thought this would be fun. And then you've got a woman, a single mum with 2 kids, and she can't pay the rent, and he's got to throw her out. It was very, very interesting, talking of, lack of control. And
yes, that's right. There's always, and I suppose that's the thing, if there's always people that are worse off.
Yes.
So, bringing some gratitude that's an interesting one too. When you're not feeling very grateful, to bring gratitude. I remember Oprah talking about it. It actually can then help. It's the what's the word? The oxymoron of it. You need to be in gratitude to create more in your life, but you're struggling to feel that gratitude.
Yes.
So sometimes I just go down to the beach and feel very grateful that I can enjoy the beach on a daily basis.
Yes.
And interestingly, my daughter, as you might have picked up, lost her mobile phone.
I did pick that up.
Yes, as in...
I didn't pick up the phone.
You've got the phone? Yes.
Oh, I've just been hiding it.
I'd put a general announcement out to say if anybody's found a phone. And she's been, quite upset. Her life's on her phone. I would be too. My life's on my phone. And all the spaces she's going through. So she has been having a few tears, and it's what's on her phone that she's now lost, but also her ability to connect with her friends, which is huge at this time. Huge. So, and it's fallen out of her pocket somewhere on a walk to the beach. So, we put it out there on our community groups and said, anybody please. But it's interesting, just all the spaces she's going through and feeling the gratitude, and we didn't lose our dog. We didn't, all of that. And last night we sat down and started brainstorming, because I've put it out there, anyone with a spare, she needs an iPhone in particular, because she wants to FaceTime her friends. So I've been putting it out there, but I said to her, okay, well, another way around it, because it's in contract, is let's look at how much it would be to buy a phone, and it might not be the one you had, but as in the model you had, but let's see what you can afford and what we can work out. And so, she was quite grateful for that, we're looking at that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a tough one. That is a tough one. Now, I've got down here, breathe, don't react.
Yeah, maybe I should have said breathe to her.
Yes.
So, but we kind of have been working through that situation. But yes, when I'm, feeling really anxious and about to, it's interesting, isn't it? Because in moments, it can feel like the most important thing, and I might be reacting to what someone said. And if I just do breathe and just take a step back, and just even be a bit of an observer in the situation rather than react, I can almost 100% of the time I can say it plays out differently to what my initial
thoughts
were.
I've had a situation recently, and when I've been walking, I've been getting angry with these people, and I've been, I've had all this stuff that's gone on in my head, right, about how it's going to play out, and things have played out completely differently, and there was a part of me that allowed that, because I think if I had absolutely, because I could see that part of me that was like wanting to get into that drama and all that kind of stuff, which is ridiculous, because in the end we'd all lose, rather than going in with, okay, this will work out, and, how do I need to be in this situation to allow it to open up and for people to, react differently to me to how I'm expecting, not even knowing how they're going to react. It's very, very interesting.
Oh, well, yes, but real. And gosh, what was I listening to? Oh, why do I do this and not keep these things? There was a woman talking. No, it wasn't. You and I were talking to this person about energy and how real it is.
Yes.
And she came from a corporate, scientific, you name it, hardcore kind of background, and now she talks what some people would say woo-woo, but she was saying it's real. It's real, and she was giving us real life examples.
Scientific. She had had a science background. So.
Yes, well, we're going to have her on the show.
Yes,
she'll be very interesting to talk to. And I need to be quiet for a minute.
Oh, you could talk forever, Vicki.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.